be in the video? If you feel like your friends are kind of toxic, if you feel like you're giving so much to your friendships but you're not getting anything back, or you just kind of have this gut feeling that your friends are not good for you, then this video is going to be the push that you guys need in order to cut those toxic friends off. So I realized that I forgot to film the intro to this, so hi internet best friends and welcome back to my sleepover. Also, I'm gonna say that the sound in this video is not really the best because I'm still getting used to filming in the new apartment. If you guys hear some weird noise in the background, please ignore that. I'm gonna try to come up with a solution for that at some point, but yeah, let's get into the video. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys my story as well as something that I realized from experiencing that and something that made me look at cutting people off completely differently and made it so much easier for me to make that decision for myself. If you guys know me and you guys know this channel, you guys know that when I went to college, my second year of college, I had a roommate who at first I was the best of friends with and everything between us was great, but there was something that just wasn't too good in our friendship, and there was also another person in the friend group that I had a lot of problems with that were basically arising from my tendency that my whole life I've always kind of been like a people pleaser. I would not be able to say no to anything, which led me to meet a lot of people that would definitely push my boundaries a lot, and people who I felt like would constantly take and take and take from me without giving me anything back. So even though everything was great at first, at some point I just ended up in the counselor's office being like, I feel like my friendships are really draining me. It's driving me insane. I feel like I can't be my best self anymore. I feel like the side character to someone else's story, which if you feel like that, you might have toxic friends in your life who mostly care about like what that friendship brings to them instead of actually being friends with you, which might also have something to do with you not having good boundaries, which is also a conversation that needs to be had, because usually when you put up boundaries with toxic friends, they're not going to respect it and they're going to even maybe have a fight with you because of your boundaries. So I was like, I can't really take this anymore, but at the same time, like, I'm so afraid to not have friends and I'm so afraid to stop hanging out with them and stop being friends with them that I just can't bring myself to do it, no matter how much it is draining me. Which if you have some toxic friends, you might be in the same situation. You might be in a situation when you're like realizing those friends are toxic for you, but you're really scared to cut them off because you don't want to be alone, or you might be a people pleaser like me and you're really scared that they're going to get mad at you or you're not going to make any other friends, which that is so not true. But basically when I was sitting there, I described the dynamic in a way where I was like, it feels like I'm the tree and like this friend is just a mushroom like on that tree, which if you guys don't know, basically like mushrooms are parasites that feed off of the tree, and in the end they might even kill the tree because they keep taking and taking and taking. And that's how I felt in my relationship with this one friend that I had. And the counselor that I went to was like, so what if it doesn't stop? Like, where do you see the tree going? And I know it's kind of like a crazy metaphor, but think about this. Like, if you feel like this right now, imagine feeling like this for years and years, someone constantly keeping on taking from you, keeping on draining your energy. Where will you be? You will have literally nothing left for yourself. And I mean, you won't die like that tree, but you won't be able to live your best life. You won't be able to be your best self, and you won't be able to truly thrive the way you're supposed to. So when it comes to this situation, you really have to make a choice. Is it going to be you or is it going to be them? Because if you keep on giving to them, they're going to keep on taking, and it's not going to end with you in a good place. Because I know for me, it definitely did not. But usually the best thing, first of all, is to talk to that person. That's also like how you find out if they're really like your friends or if they might be a toxic friend. So if you talk to them about something that you're feeling bad about, you're like, hey, like, I don't feel good when you constantly like talk down on me, or whatever you have issues with in this friendship. For example, like, hey, like, I feel like when I talk to you about my problems, I don't really feel heard, so could you maybe like do this and that? And if that person decides to turn around and change that, as long as you make it like non-accusatory, just like say it in a way that like I feel, and just say it as civilly as possible, that's going to be good. But if that person picks a fight with you over that, if that person doesn't want to change, if that person doesn't care about you enough to respect your boundaries, that is usually a sign that your friendship with that person is toxic. So if you're like, hey, I don't like you bringing that person to stay over in our room all the time, can you please not do that again? If they pick a fight with you, they don't respect your boundaries, which means they don't respect you, which means they're not your real friends. And if you have someone like that in your life, that is going to bring you more harm than good. And I know with like thinking about cutting these people off, there's going to be this notion that I don't want to be alone, I'm afraid that I'm never going to have any friends, which first of all, you will have friends, and these people are not your real friends anyway. They just bring you down, they make you feel miserable, they make you feel worse, and if you don't cut them off, it's going to be you who's going to suffer. So you really have to choose yourself in this situation. And yes, I know with like every single period where you cut off your old friend group or you decide to change friend groups, there's going to be this period of solitude, which is really scary for a lot of people before you find your new friends. I had it when I decided to change my friend group in high school. It was really hard for me for a while. There was, I think, like a 2-month period where I didn't really have anyone to talk to, where I constantly went to the library, which I also talked about in this video right here. But I've had that kind of period so many times in my life, and I'm going to tell you guys that that period honestly is a blessing in disguise, because you discover so many things about yourself. You learn how to be you and how to choose you over other people, and it also usually helps you develop some kind of hobby or skill that you didn't think you ever would do. For example, for me, when I just moved to college, before I made any friends, it was definitely YouTube, and it makes you way more confident and self-assured as a person when you have that period of self-discovery, because it is at first glance one of the most painful things that you might think of. Being alone, it seems really scary because we're so used to having people around, because in the past, like psychologically on evolutionary basis, that is how people used to survive in the past. Like way back, if you didn't have a strong social group, you would probably get eaten by a bear or something, and that is still subconsciously in our heads. So that's why it seems so painful for you to think of being alone and think of not having a friend group. But honestly, that period is going to bring so much into your life, and there's always friends that come to that space, because whatever space you make, something is going to fill it up. And it's way better to be by yourself than to be with someone who is constantly draining your energy, constantly taking from you, who constantly makes you feel bad, because again, it is you or them. So honestly, don't be afraid of it, and trust me, the new friends that you find are going to feel so much better about being with them than being with these people, and that's definitely going to mean a lot. The cat's here again. She's not happy about me putting her in the video. So yeah, we're rooting for you, and hopefully this video gave you the motivation that you needed. If you want to know how to be okay by yourself and how to deal with being alone, not having friends, then definitely check out this video right here. And if you want to know some tips on how to have the it girl mindset, then definitely check out this video right here. And I love you guys, and I love this cat, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!